We just got our first balancing update for Modern Warfare 2, and with that there was a bunch of other changes as well. As always, we're going to be covering this in a rapid style format video, that way you can quickly watch this video and get right back into game. If you're new here and want to sub, I'd greatly appreciate it, and if you have to like or a comment, it helps me out a ton. So right here's the blog post. Welcome to weekend 2 of the Modern Warfare 2 beta. We're excited to share some brand new maps and modes, as well as some fresh new changes as well. New beta weekend 2 content. This is going to be new content that's introduced just for weekend 2. This wasn't in the weekend 1 of the beta. Maps, introducing 2 new battle maps, Sheriff Bay, and then another map that I'm not going to butcher the name of. Modes. Ground War is back. Enjoy up to 32v32 combat with brand new vehicles and dynamic combat. Introducing our sandbox TDM. Invasion, or what we like to call the shipment of Ground War. Invasion pits 2 teams of 20 players and 20 AI against each other with large map, 80 combatants, water play, ground vehicles, air vehicles, and more. It's absolute chaos. So there's going to be 20 real players on each team and 20 bots on each team. So there's going to be 2 teams of 40 players, half AI, half real players. We actually played this a lot yesterday for the video that I made, and I really do like it. I don't agree with what they say here. The shipment of Ground War, in no way, shape, and form does this feel like shipment at all. It's kind of chaotic, but honestly, the map's a little bit too big for just 40 players. They really do need to kind of cut the map in half, have it a little bit more fast paced. And if this is what they're considering the shipment of Ground War, if this is the smallest Ground War map and it only gets bigger, that is not a good sign for Ground War, because I was kind of hoping this was going to be on the bigger side of Ground War maps, or at least up the players a little bit. Like it's kind of getting close to that chaotic feeling, but it just needs a little bit more. It's not, it doesn't have that full on chaotic Call of Duty feeling that we're used to. It's kind of a little bit of a taste of it. So hopefully when they call it the shipment of Ground War, they don't mean this is the smallest, most chaotic mode, because yeah, it's not quite there yet. It needs a little bit more chaos, and it needs to kind of tone down the size of the map a little bit. Third person Mosh Pit is returning for weekend 2. I saw a lot of people complaining about that you know, the third person mode that they really wanted to try wasn't on the PC and Xbox weekend 2 version of the beta, but at some point during this, the Mosh Pit is going to be returning. Gameplay. We've made adjustments to player visibility that should make enemy targets easier to spot. They already talked about this in the last blog post. Perks. The perk earn rate will remain the same as the weekend 1 beta. Once all platforms are open, we will be increasing the earn rate significantly. If you haven't played Modern Warfare 2 yet, you get 4 different perk slots. You spawn in with 2 of them, and then tier 3 and tier 4 are earned throughout the game. It's based on time and score. Usually it takes about 4 minutes to get your 3rd perk and about 8 minutes to get your 4th. Once the beta is open for everyone, meaning you don't have to have a code to play or pre-order the game, they're going to be increasing it significantly, which to me sounds like they might be cutting it in half. I kind of like the new perk system, but we'll have to wait and see once they change the whole, you know, balancing of it. Audio. Decrease the overall distance from which you could hear enemy and ally footsteps. Mix the volume of local and non-local player side sounds to be more in line with other movements. Added an equalizer to soften ally footsteps versus enemy footsteps, making enemy audio more distinct. Adjusted mix presets, particularly the mix of ambient sounds, which will make footsteps slightly less pronounced. You know, they're not making dead silence a perk, so instead of doing that, they're kind of nerfing footsteps in general. While they are making it easier to hear enemy footsteps, they're also, you know, upping kind of the ambient sounds and kind of, you know, balancing the audio to make footsteps a little bit harder to hear. And here we go, weapon tuning. Yes, we've got some buffs and nerfs. If you played the Modern Warfare 2 beta, you know there's some weapons that are stronger than others. Starting off, we've got the FTAC Recon. Reduced damage while in full auto, increased full auto recoil, minor headshot damage reduction. So the Recon in full auto is going to be pretty heavily nerfed. They're increasing the recoil, reducing the damage, and there's going to be some headshot damage reduction. Then we've got the Hurricane. Reduced damage at distance, lower headshot multiplier. So once again, the Hurricane also getting a nerf, both of these being SMGs. Then we've got the Lockman 556, minor recoil increase, minor headshot reduction, minor hipfire spread increase. So once again, all nerfs. They're definitely taking a pretty hard approach on the nerfs. No buffs so far. M4, minor hip fire spread increase, going to make the hip fire spread even more, making it harder to, you know, hip fire with it. M16, minor hip fire spread increase. We've got the 7.4U, minor hip fire spread increase. The Lockman sub, which is one of the best weapons in the entire beta. Minimum damage reduction, so it's going to be doing less damage. Minor headshot damage reduction. So right now, every single change we got were all nerfs. There were no buffs here. It looks like most of the weapons, mainly the ARs, are going to have a wider hip fire spread, and then the SMGs are going to be doing less damage at distance, less damage while full auto, and a bunch of other stuff like that. And then list of gunsmithable weapons from weekend 1 remains the same for weekend 2. So yeah, those are the changes for weapons in this update. Maps. Museum has returned following fixes to its lighting. So Museum was part of weekend 1. It was removed because of lighting issues. It's now back in the game. Then they've patched stuff on Farm 18, Hotel, and you know, they're just doing general patches for maps. User interface. Please fix some stuff with this. I think some of the biggest complaints I see for this game are how clunky the UI is. We've addressed a number of UX bugs, including gunsmith and progression issues. The level cap for weekend 2 is 30. If you played weekend 1, your progress should carry over to weekend 2. So now you can go all the way up to 30, and you're actually going to earn some permanent rewards for getting to 30, some blueprints, calling cards, some cool stuff. We're also working on a number of UI and UX improvements for launch. Please and thank you. Dude, I hate the menus for this game. I like the game. Menus could use some work. There are quite a few other improvements, edits, and optimizations that are in the works for launch. More information to follow. We look forward to seeing you in the Modern Warfare 2 Weekend 2 beta. And then here's the pre-order dates, and yeah, that's when it all ends. Be sure to follow Infinity Ward channels for supports and other stuff. So that is it. That is our first like actual balancing change. And it looks like they're kind of taking, you know, a more nerf approach to things instead of buffing things. I haven't played since this update went live, so I definitely want to see how the sub feels, because this was my favorite weapon prior to the update. But yeah, with that, guys, if you guys want to keep fully up to date with any changes for Modern Warfare 2 or any other Call of Duty game, we're always going to be posting these rapid style update videos. That way, whenever an update comes out, you can click on this video, watch it real quick, understand what's going on, and then get back into game. If you'll have to like or comment, it helps me out a ton. Let me know how you feel about all the stuff we talked about in this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. I want to give a quick thanks to those who became a Twitch sub or a YouTube member, and an extra special thanks to those who took it above and beyond and became an Unlock Plus Plus member here on YouTube. We got the Legend Army Tech Rex, the Absolute Chad Noah, the Homie Flicks, the GOAT RPH, and then finally the man himself, No Spice.